think we all want to feel well. And if you're on this channel, you clicked on this channel, you probably want that same thing, to feel your healthiest. Hey, it's Cher, and if you are new here, this is the Style and Stewardship podcast. I always encourage you guys to send in some questions that you may have about health and wellness, because I'm definitely here to empower you in that in any way that I can. So the question that came in was about what are some daily supplements that you do not go without and why. I am definitely not giving any sort of medical advice, but as a nutritionist, I am really passionate about getting as much as we possibly can from the food that we're taking in. But let's just be real, sometimes we just can't get everything that we need from our food for a few reasons. One of them being our soil quality has changed dramatically. Here are the things that I take on a daily basis, and that is going to be a B complex. I will put it on the screen, or I'll show a video of that. And our B vitamins are crucial for so many different functions in our body. For example, folate is a B vitamin, and that literally, and you may see folic acid, but you don't want to take folic acid because it blocks the receptors of folate and it kind of confuses your system. So if you can take folate and not folic acid, which is a synthetic version of folate, we can get folate from our food, but since it is a water soluble vitamin, and water soluble kind of sounds exactly like what it is, and that means that these are vitamins that are dissolved in liquid. So if we're getting folate, and it's going to help with our DNA, it is going to help with our immune function, it helps with a myriad of things, and I'll put those things on the screen. And the thing about water soluble vitamins is they're not stored in our bodies for long periods of time. So folate, for example, only stays in our body in stores for about 3 to 4 months typically. So this is something that we need to constantly be replenishing through our dietary intake. B vitamins are where I absolutely notice a huge difference. B12, for example, helps with nerve function and nerve conduction. And not only that, it gives us energy. So if you're someone who struggles with a slump in the afternoon, one of the things that I love to do is to actually take B12 drops. I literally will put some in my mouth. Hold on, let me go get it. So this is the one that I like to take. This is Pure Encapsulations, and all of the supplements that I'm using, I will link them below. Some of them I get from Amazon, but a majority of them I get through my practitioner account because they are just vetted and they are third party, verified that they actually contain the ingredients that they say they do. So this is what it looks like. And it is, as you can see, I've had quite a bit, but what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take this, you put it in your mouth, and I just hold it for like 30 seconds, and then I just take this, and it works so fast. And I give this to my kid as well. Always check with your doctor. Like anything else, if you're already taking medications and things like that, you always want to check with your doctor, because me and you don't have the same body. So you want to make sure that this is going to work for you. But this is what I love to use for a pick-me-up in the afternoon. If you get that little afternoon slump, that absolutely gives me energy within like 5 to 10 minutes. I notice a huge difference, but I don't take it too late in the day because I don't want to be like wired when it's time to go to bed. So that is one of the things that I absolutely love to take. And I think B vitamins are critical for so many different things, but for energy, for DNA processing, there are B vitamins that help our blood sugar regulation as well as some of the minerals that we're taking. So B vitamins absolutely are a must for me. B vitamins actually help us to use the energy that we're getting from our food. It helps to turn it into energy rather, and it also helps for our body to produce DNA, which obviously is critical for our well-being as a whole. So B vitamins are something that I absolutely take every single day. Sometimes if we are traveling, I will just take that bottle and put it in my bag, and I notice a huge difference when I do not have it. Okay, so apart from having the B vitamins, the B complex, and the additional B12 drop every single day, the other thing that I take is going to be a basic nutrients, and this is the 2 a day. And I like this one because it has minerals in it. It also has your B vitamins, so you don't need to take both. But on days that say we are traveling or things like that, and I don't want to take all of my things, I take something that I feel like, okay, I'm gonna get everything that I need for the most part in just 1 or 2 pills. The vitamins that I take typically are going to be methylated, or they're going to be active, so the active form of vitamins. This is something else I wanted to throw in case just so I don't forget. I take specifically capsules. I like taking liquids or capsules. That is so what is a capsule? A capsule is when you have a pill. You know, I could take this apart and I could dump this powder in a shake if I wanted to. I like taking things in this form because the only thing that my body has to work through is this capsule. When we're taking vitamins that have been pressed, typically those are going, like the chalky style vitamins, those are typically way lower quality, and we want something that our body can use easily. So if you have some sort of stomach issue, if you have inflammation in your gut, which a lot of us do, I can raise my hand and say I've been working through some gut health issue things. But if it's in a capsule, your body does not have to work as hard to break it down. And if your gut is already inflamed, it's going to be very hard to do so. And sometimes your body can't break it down at all. So what I like to do is a capsule. That to me is one of the best ways. And then, like I used before, I use liquids. So I like to use a capsule for that reason. I want my body to be able to utilize it as efficiently as possible. And I don't want it to have to go through a whole huge process to break these things down in my gastrointestinal tract. If I didn't mention, the reason why I take a liquid form of the B12 is, one, because I want energy immediately, but not just that, it's because since this is water soluble, this is going to get into my bloodstream a lot quicker. This is going to get into my body and be used by my body very quickly. So that's why I like to use a liquid form of that. And that doesn't have to be refrigerated. It's an option if you just want something to take just on a daily basis and you don't want to get all the things. So this is the brand that I really like. So according to Cleveland Clinic, about 1 billion people worldwide are deficient in vitamin D, and 50% of the population has vitamin D insufficiency, just meaning they're not getting enough. But if you are like myself and you have melanated skin, so there are about 35% of people that have more melanin in their skin that are going to be deficient or insufficient in vitamin D just naturally. So where do we get vitamin D? So we ingest cholesterol in our food, and then when we go out into the sun, the sunlight literally causes that cholesterol to be turned into vitamin D. We need vitamin D for our immune function. We need vitamin D for bone health. We need vitamin D for a myriad of things. And without it, we can experience even a lot of hormonal shifts, being that cholesterol that is used to produce vitamin D. And that can turn into, you can have issues with your hair falling out, you can have skin issues, you can have immune system issues. And because of that, and especially if you have an autoimmune condition, inflammation is something that is also partly regulated by vitamin D. So if you have melanated skin, or you don't get out in the sun a lot, or you wear a lot of sunblock when you do go outside, and you're not getting about 30 minutes of just exposure to the sun so that your body can create that vitamin D, you may be insufficient. Always check with your doctor. That's something that I always encourage people to get your levels checked so you know where you stand. Vitamin D deficiency is something that we can absolutely help. And I love to take this. And I do not, so if I am taking this 1 a day, I'm not also taking this, because you can take too much vitamin D and that is not good for you. So I typically take this maybe once a week. I notice a big difference in my sleep patterns. I notice a big difference in my energy. And this is just my unique perspective on my body and how it affects me. I take this, and this is the Seeking Health brand, and this is vitamin D3 and K2, and some of the oil got on the outside, but the ingredients outside of the vitamin D is olive oil, and that is it. So whenever I'm taking vitamins, I also try to get as few ingredients as possible, but you want to take vitamin D3 with vitamin K2, because K2 will keep your soft tissues from being calcified. K2 tells the calcium that you ingest and the vitamin D that you ingest to go to your bones and not to calcify any other area of your body. So I don't just take vitamin D by itself, and I don't think I ever would, because just learning that, it's like, okay, you need these things to work together. So that is something that I take at least once a week. And on days where, you know, in the winter, I take a little bit more. So this week I've already had it, you know, a couple of times, but I'm also not taking that one a day. So I'm just taking my B vitamins, I'm taking the vitamin D3 and K2, and then I'm taking my minerals. So that's the next thing that I want to talk about. Why do we need trace minerals and electrolytes to begin with? So I'm going to read off my notes so I do not forget anything, but minerals and electrolytes are essential minerals that are needed for vital functions in our bodies, such as electric function and nerve conduction, balancing fluid in and out of the cells, and so much more. So I'm going to link the publication that you can find this for yourself. So I am a huge believer in magnesium glycinate. I have several bottles of this, and I keep this with me wherever I go. I specifically like to take glycinate in, again, capsule form and not pill form. I don't want this pressed. I want my body to be able to use this. So it's easy to just break these apart. That is what separates a capsule from something pressed. I absolutely love how I feel with this. I notice a huge difference in my muscle recovery after working out. I'm not as sore. You need magnesium to do, I think it does over 300 processes in the body, but I'll tell you just a couple more of them. Magnesium is essential for our healthy muscles, but it's also for blood sugar regulation, which is really important to me. That is something that I really, because of my unique health, just like you have unique health, there are certain things that I want to make sure that I am getting in front of. There are certain things that I want to prevent if at all possible. And those are going to be things like type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, fatty liver disease, cancer, heart disease. All of these things are in my family, and those are things that I want to avoid if I possibly can. So I want to be as healthy as I possibly can, and I always want to encourage you to live your healthiest life as well, so you can do well, be well, and hear well done. So according to the NIH, magnesium is a nutrient that the body needs to stay healthy. We need it to regulate muscle and nerve function. We need it for blood sugar levels. We need it for our blood pressure, for making protein, for making bone, for making DNA. So magnesium is extremely important. There are some natural ways to get this in, but that is one of those things that I want to supplement and make sure that I'm filling in the gap, because it's not something that I ever want to be deficient or insufficient in. So you can get this from nuts and seeds. I'll link the video that I did where I shared different nuts and seeds that I eat for that particular reason. But I always want to make sure that I have this safety blanket of supplements in case my body isn't breaking down food properly, or if we have some other existing situation going on. If there's inflammation in the body a lot of times will stop certain processes because they're not as important as keeping inflammation down in your body, for example. And because of that, sometimes our body is just not utilizing things in the best way, the most efficient way. So so that is one of the main reasons why I take supplements. Everyone doesn't have to take supplements, but I truly believe that it has made a huge difference in my health and wellness. Always get your levels checked so you have a baseline and a starting point as far as what you need uniquely. The next thing that I like to take as far as minerals and electrolytes, I think are really, really important to have. So potassium, sodium, magnesium, iodine, I get those in through a very, very simple method, and I'm going to share that with you right now. Okay, so one of the things that I absolutely love to do every single day, this is something that I take without fail. When we wake up in the morning and we have fasted throughout the night and we wake up, and the first thing that I reach for is water, but I don't reach for plain water. I used to do that, and I would spend the whole morning running to the restroom. And one of the reasons why we do that is because our body is not hydrated. It's just getting a lot of water flushed out, which is great for our, liver and for our kidneys and things like that. But we also want to make sure that we're getting hydration, which means that we are actually getting hydration into the cell. So that is why I take this every single morning. I carry this with me. It's super, super convenient. I used to buy a big bottle. Now I just buy several of these little ones. This is the concentrates trace mineral drops, and I put about 3 or 4 of these into my water. If we go to the park and my son is playing, I like to put this in his water. It doesn't really taste like anything, and you could also, you know, if you didn't love it, you could put it in other things. I actually put this in other things that I drink other than just water, just to make sure that I'm getting it in, because minerals are so important for our body, for our nerve function and conduction, just like we talked about magnesium. And a lot of our salt has been depleted, so this is something that I also really love to use because it's convenient. I don't really have to think about it, and I can take it throughout the day at any point in time. Just put a couple of drops in my water. This is super convenient. I absolutely love this, and it lasts a long time. So this little tiny bottle, I don't know if you can really see it, I'm about up to here, but I have had this for the last 3 months, and I use it every single day, several times a day. So it lasts quite a while. Doesn't taste salty. Absolutely love this. The next thing that I do for getting minerals in is, I absolutely love this flavor. This is like box 5 for us, but this is the watermelon salt, for convenience and to make sure that I'm getting in the minerals that I need and the electrolytes to just, it's perfect for fluid balance in our bodies. It's for keeping us hydrated and all of those things. It literally has sodium, potassium, and magnesium, and this has a balance of the electrolytes. So this is amazing. I love this product just because I can open up a little packet. I love convenience, like make healthy living convenient, right? So I love that I can just take this. This is something that our bodies need. This is not something that we have to assume our bodies don't need. We assume that our bodies need minerals. So this is the little packet. I open this up, I drop this in some water. I'll take half of it. I'll give my son the other half because it's just absolutely, I mean, this is a game changer for me, for my wellness, for just, you know, just dragging. Sometimes we're dragging and we feel terrible because we're dehydrated and we don't even recognize that, especially if we're drinking a ton of water. Drinking a ton of water doesn't mean that we're naturally going to be hydrated. It doesn't always equate to that because we need minerals to actually get fluid in and out of the cell. And the reason why I love using this is because it's a good balance of your electrolytes. So that's going to be your sodium, potassium, and magnesium, and it has it in ratios that, you know, if you have just one of these minerals, it's not as impactful as if you have all of them, because they all actually work together and they're synergistically working together, right? They do the best when they're combined for the most part. Magnesium you can take separately, but sodium and potassium you always want to have in correct ratios. So I will link a code that I have for this. This is not sponsored. Click on that link. You will be able to get a free variety pack if you've never ordered this before. So that's just a tip. You can have it or choose something completely different. But I really love having easy access to things that I know are going to help me, that I don't have to think about. I have enough to think about, which you probably do too. So try to make it as easy as you possibly can for yourself. Some of the other supplements that I'm taking when I'm trying to heal my gut and things like that are, so this is one of the things that I'm taking because this is specific to my gut, and it's specific for gut health. And this is gut specific fish oil, and this is Mega Marine. And these are big gel caps, and these are big gel caps. I'm super picky with any sort of fish oil supplement because for the most part I like to get that through my dietary intake, and having just some wild caught sockeye salmon or, you know, even canned salmon when I'm not struggling with histamine, that is something that is I notice a huge difference in how much I'm having inflammation in my body, in my face, in my sinuses, where I typically struggle. And a lot of our health issues really do start in our gut, how much our body is able to absorb and not absorb and use and not use. So if we could be eating the healthiest, whatever that means, healthiest diet in the world, but if we're not absorbing those nutrients because our body is not digesting them because we have some sort of gut issue, inflammation, or some sort of condition, then we're not going to be taking in the nutrients that we think we're getting in our food. It's not getting broken down. It's not getting utilized by the body. So for that, I like to take digestive enzymes. This is something else I'm kind of picky about, and I've gone through a couple of brands, and this is the one that I'm really enjoying. This is actually empty, but this one has all of the enzymes that are going to break down some of the food that we're taking in. So the proteins, the carbohydrates, things that if you have any sort of gut issue or a microbiome, dysbiosis, which just means you have an overgrowth of bad bacteria to good bacteria. Just like we want to keep those ratios in a good order with our omega-3s and our omega-6s, we want to do the same thing when it comes to the good bacteria that's residing within us, and we want to make sure that the bacteria that we have in our guts are also helping us break down food. So sometimes if our gut is dysbiotic, our body's not going to break down food very well either, because there are things that we digest and there are things that our gut bugs actually digest. We're going to get into gut health in a whole other video, because that's something that I'm just fascinated by, and I love sharing what I learned in that area. But digestive enzymes, you just take 2 of these when you're eating, especially if you're eating something that's really protein rich, because that's a process that takes a little more effort for our body to break down. But so does eating a lot of leafy greens. People don't think about this, but that is something that is very labor intensive for your body to break down. So that is something that I like to take. And I also take a probiotic that is specifically good for people who have things like histamine intolerance like I do, or have sensitive guts, or children that have sensitive guts. That is also by that brand. I'll put it on the screen. I keep that one in the refrigerator, and that is something that I've noticed a huge difference in with the digestive enzymes. I don't have, if you suffer from a lot of gas or bloating and things like that, it may be because your body is not breaking down the food properly. So that is something that I like to take, those digestive enzymes, as well as taking a probiotic that is replenishing some of the good gut bacteria. So next up, I am sharing, I have gone through this entire bottle. It's like a powder. You probably can't see in there, but there's only a drop left. I have a whole package of supplements coming today, but this is myo-inositol powder, and I will read to you what this is good for. I have been taking this for about 6 months. Okay, so myo-inositol, it improves blood sugar handling, which is why I take it. It lowers triglyceride levels, and it is also used by a lot of women who have something called PCOS, which is polycystic ovary syndrome. And this is, so I'll read to you what it says just on the bottle. Inositol is a necessary component of all cellular membranes. It's a member of the B vitamin family that contributes to muscular and nerve function and participates in the metabolism of fats in the liver. Myo-inositol is the most abundant form of this nutrient, with its highest concentration being found in the brain and central nervous system. Myo-inositol in particular is a versatile nutrient for the promotion of emotional and mental wellness, healthy eating patterns, and restful sleep through its critical role in neurotransmitter messaging systems. In addition, it is an important nutritional element for the maintenance of ovarian health, normal blood sugar maintenance, especially for women. So that is why I take this, and I have been taking this for 6 months now. And it's like a really starchy powder, and it kind of tastes a little bit sweet. So I've mixed this in water, I have mixed this in tea, I've mixed this in coffee, and as far as I know, heat does not degrade this. I will link the publication that was done on myo-inositol, and just so you can read for your own learning. Insulin resistance is something that I want to avoid, so this is something that I've been taking for the last 6 months. It may have been 7 months, but it lasts quite a while, and it's not very expensive. I was reading a research paper on how it helps with so many different things for our mental health. So I absolutely love this, love that it does all of those things. And if someone struggles with anxiety or blood sugar regulation, this is something that I am so excited and so glad that I have found. And this is the Pendulum Akkermansia, and I just have the light version. So I take 1 to 2 of these a day, and some of the things that this is good for gut health, which is something that I've been working on and have come such a long way with my histamine intolerance. This is one of the things that I have been taking for helps your gut health and this is called a keystone bacterial strain. So we have these keystone strains that are present in people with healthy guts, and Akkermansia is a specific strain for that. So this is said to improve gut health. It's said to improve bowel movements and improve mood and energy. I'm reading off my screen. And it also is used to reduce sugar cravings. So I take that. That is one of 2 probiotics I take. I take that one, and I take the other one that I put on the screen a little while ago. And those have been just huge for me. I am a huge believer in adaptogens, and adaptogens are herbs and roots and different parts of plants that have been used, some of them for thousands of years, for just your body's ability to become resilient to stress, because we're all going to get stressed out. And if you're a mom and a homeschool mom or a small business owner, you work outside the house and you have to work with the public, you know that stress can come in a myriad of different ways, and adaptogens help your body to adapt to stress. So if our hormones are not in a good place, or if they're unbalanced, if our gut microbiome is off, if our bodies are inflamed, all of these things are different types of stresses on the body. And the more that we can mitigate stress, mitigate inflammation and things like that, the better we are health-wise, I believe. So I like to make sure that my hormones are in a good place, and I'm almost out of this, but this is gelatinized maca root powder, and I've been using this for years now, and I absolutely love this. So the starch, this is gelatinized, so the starch was removed from it, and this has been used traditionally a lot of different ways, but it's been used to increase energy, to balance hormones, to increase stamina, and to improve moods. So I take this just about every single day, and I put this like in a shake, or I might mix it with some coconut milk, and I'll just take it like that, and I'll just like use the little stir thing that I have. And you can also put it in desserts. You can mix it in other things. I'll tell you what it tastes like. It tastes like, let's see, if butterscotch and peanut butter had a baby, that's what this tastes like. So it's not really sweet, but it has a very distinct flavor. I actually like the way that it tastes, but you could always mix it in something if you didn't love it. What I have learned, and different things I've researched about maca root, is you don't necessarily want to put it in something that's super hot, because it can degrade the constituents in the maca root. So I like to mix it in things that are cold. The next thing that I take, we need antioxidants and we need vitamin C for a myriad of things. And if you're someone who has issues with citrus, you don't get the highest level of vitamin C from citrus anyways, even though it's been kind of touted that way. I think just because it's easy to grab an orange, or squeeze a lemon in some water and things like that. But there are things that are way higher in vitamin C, and that's going to be bell peppers. So specifically the orange bell pepper is a great source of that. It's also a great source of other antioxidants, but we'll talk about that in another video. This is camu powder, and it is a superfruit, and this has the highest level of vitamin C of any fruit or vegetable in the world that we know of. So I like to take this. I get this in a 2-pack off Amazon. So this is one of the things I will buy off Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. It does have a bitter flavor, so you want to mix this in things, which is how I take it. Sometimes I'll just mix it in water and I'll take it like that, but it does have a bitter flavor. This is something that I absolutely love to take because I know that I'm getting in my vitamin C. So just for 1 teaspoon, this has 478% of your daily value of vitamin C at 430 milligrams. So this is packed with vitamin C, and it also has a gram of fiber in it. So this is my go-to for vitamin C. So we have a master antioxidant within our body that our body creates, and that's called glutathione. And there are lots of things that can deplete glutathione. And in order to increase the production of that, I take something called NAC or NOC. That's N-acetylcysteine, and that has been such a game changer in my health and wellness. It is it literally tells your body to create more glutathione, which is your body's master antioxidant. And whenever we can do that, we're helping our body to get rid of toxins and to get rid of oxidative stress, to mitigate oxidative stress and things of that nature. So I absolutely love taking NOC. That is something that I've been taking for a couple of years now, and that I take every single day. If you are taking products that have not been vetted and have not been third-party tested, you don't even know that you're getting what it says that you're supposed to be getting. That's one of the things that I absolutely love about working through the practitioner account, because I'm able to get my hands on some really, really good vitamins and to also share that with you all. So I did a blog post where I'm sharing all the different things that I'm sharing here in this video and on this podcast. Be sure to check the link below so you can read that if you're someone that wants to bookmark something to go back to. I will leave all the links to the things that I'm using in the description box, and I'm also going to leave a link to my practitioner account with all of the favorites that I mentioned here. And always consult with your doctor whenever you're going to change anything. And none of these things, none of these supplements that I'm sharing with you have been approved to treat, diagnose, or cure any medical condition, nor have they been approved by the FDA. So I want to go ahead and get that disclaimer out there. Always use your best judgment and always listen to your body. I'm always encouraging people, listen to your body. Link below the different supplements that you take and why, because I think that it's important to know why we're taking something. Until next time, your life matters, what you do with it matters. So what will you steward well? Peace.